Good evening and welcome to the One Celtic Fans View. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I was trying to catch up on Dyson Maeda article that has came out this evening, but it's from the mainstream media. So I'd rather sit and wait, to be honest, to see what Martin O'Neill says about the whole situation, rather than trying to rely on press on the media that are pretty much guessing from the other day, from the Sunday. So we'll wait and see. And there's one thing for sure, it doesn't look like it could be Dyson back for the weekend. Well, it could be back for the weekend. We'll wait and see. And good evening, everyone in the chat. Anyway, with Celtic making inquiries, Celtic sending scouts to see players without a new manager, and there's a bit of concern from Celtic fans, wondering who's actually seen Dyson going into training ground this morning, says Paul. You also said you seen him driving a van, mate. So I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. And you've been on the Swally. So let's hope Motherwell do us a favour on Saturday. Well, we're going to have a look at the William Hill Premiership this weekend. Celtic do have 6 days. Come Sunday, it'll be 6 days left at the end of the season. And our whole season, everything that's happened over the course of the season, starting the season off with Brendan Rodgers as manager, talking about nothing but himself, talking about his contract situation, making it all about him. It was all about Brendan at the beginning of the season. And then when it wasn't about Brendan, it was about the players not being up to the job and being Honda Civics. And then Brendan Rodgers left us. Martin O'Neill came in and steadied the ship slightly. The board believed that they were doing the right thing in taking a permanent manager with a vision of looking to the future. And looking to the future with the wrong person in charge. Wilfred Nancy lasted 33 days as Celtic manager with a terrible run of results. He was, you're fired. He was given one of those situations. And then Martin O'Neill came back. And when we look at the results from when Martin O'Neill came back to Celtic, he's done quite well, hasn't he? I mean, you could say that there's some results that were shock results. When you look back to January, when he came back, Martin O'Neill, his first game back, Celtic went out and beat Dundee United 4-0. Bit of a bounce back. The new manager bounced after getting beat by Rangers 3-1. That was the day that Yang scored goal of the season for Celtic. Goal of the season that didn't really matter what happened that day because we got absolutely annihilated. And some people say it was for the best that we got annihilated because it got rid of Wilfred Nancy. Martin O'Neill came in the door, steadied the ship, got the bounce back from the players. Celtic then went on to play Falkirk, and they could only beat them 1-0. Auchinleck Talbot, Celtic then travelled to Kilmarnock. Yes, the Auchinleck Talbot changed the game to Kilmarnock, and Celtic came out 2-0 winners. It was a bit of a struggle, that game. Celtic then went away to Italy under Martin O'Neill, and they got a good draw in the Europa. Bologna have been doing absolutely fantastic. They have a Rangers connection to the team as well, so it was good to get that good result away in Italy. And then we came back down to earth with a bump. But you've got to say, Celtic were unlucky with the 2-2 draw against Hearts on the 25th of January. Austin Trusty was sent off that day. I tell you, my memory is done. I'm on fire with the memory this season. And then we went away to Utrecht. No, we had Utrecht at home, and we beat them 4-2. 4-2 in the Europa. And then it was back down to February, and we beat Falkirk. We beat Dundee. We beat Livingston. We beat Kilmarnock, and then it was coming up against Stuttgart. Stuttgart was always going to be the hardest game of the Europa, and it proved to be a little. Just calm down, lads. We know that everything isn't great at Celtic, and then Celtic bring Hibernian, and we beat them 2-1. No, Hibernian beat us 2-1, sorry. And I'm still looking at the Stuttgart result because it was a disbelief. We went away to Stuttgart, having been absolutely mullered by Stuttgart. We managed to beat them 1-0 away from home in Germany. You forget about that performance. You forget that this Celtic team under Martin O'Neill. And when I was reading the results, that's why I was thinking with the Hibernian, because with everything that's happened and everything that has went on over the course of the season, it's crazy to think that after getting beat by Hibernian, after getting beat by Stuttgart 4-1, and then going to Hibs and getting beat 2-1, and then going away to Germany and winning 1-0 away. We then came back down to bump with an earth, and we kind of knew that this team wasn't really up for much. So we got a 2-2 draw away to Rangers, and then we beat Aberdeen 1-0, and then we get another draw against Rangers, but we go on to beat them in penalties. Still haven't beat Rangers in the league. We then bring Motherwell to Celtic Park on the 14th of March and we beat them 3-0. We then get beat by Dundee United on a pitch that was absolutely woeful. Now, Dundee United had to play on the same pitch. Celtic just didn't seem as if they were up for it. It was like a muddy field. But listen, players back in the day would have been up for playing on that pitch. Do you know, when it's not slick passing football, you've just got to get down and do the dirty side of football. But Dundee United beat us 2-0, and people thought then that was the beginning of the end for Celtic when it comes to the league. Celtic managed to go to Dundee the following week on a pitch, considering the two stadiums are in spitting distance. One pitch looks like a mud bath. The other pitch looks like it was laid the day before. It was beautiful. The pictures from the week before, from the drone pictures of Dundee United's ground looking like a battlefield of Culloden. Let's put in Culloden there, just because it's voting day tomorrow. Make sure you vote the right way if you're Scottish. None of this nonsense voting for Farage and shite. Get voting the right way. But anyway, Celtic managed to win that game 2-1. We then go and bring St Mirren back to Celtic Park. Hadn't been at Celtic Park for a couple of weeks. And it was due to international breaks and stuff like that. So it was good to get back to Celtic Park, and we played St Mirren in the Premiership, and it was 1-0 to Celtic. And that was a kind of the warm-up for the game at Hampden, the all-important one. St Mirren thought they could do the double over Celtic, and they were within... Look, McCowan, look, you just have nightmares. It was like a parting of the sea, the defence, with 2 minutes to go. And all you had to do was keep it down and smash the ball at the back of the net. But instead, you leaned back just a little bit. And the rest is history. You hit it over the bar. Luke McCowan could have been a legend, and he was. Well, not quite a legend, but he went on to score in extra time. Celtic in the first 15 minutes of second half seemed to find a football player inside them. There's something inside so strong. Remember that? Getting sung at Celtic Park? Something inside so strong. Came out for a 6-minute spell. And that was it. Celtic scored a barrel load of goals, and it was done and dusted. 6-2. It ended up dramatic. We then have Falkirk at Celtic Park, and we beat them 3-1. We then go to Hibernian last week, and it's got to say that it wasn't easy. and but we still won. We got it over the line. Just we won 2-1 away to Hibernian. Some say that could have been the most difficult game of the run-in for Celtic. Celtic still have 3 games to go. This weekend we entertain that mob. Yes, we entertain that mob, and with all their ultras that are pretending they're not coming. I mean, imagine putting out a statement. We're not going in a game, like, we're not going in a game and that, and it's just not happening, man. We're not going in a game, right? It's not happening, man. We're not going. And then put out a banner. Everybody in black on the 10th for the 5th. Come what I'm saying? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Nobody will care what we're talking about, like. Rockets. Absolute fuds. But anyway, they'll be there this weekend. They'll be in their little corner, and there will be damage. There will be damage done on the pitch as Celtic will destroy Rangers this weekend because they look a broken team in that second half, and they've nothing to play for, nothing at all. And I don't think that they'll listen. You could give them 11 Viagra, and Rangers still couldn't get it up for this game. That's the way that I'm seeing it, and Celtic will brush them aside. And as they did back in 2019 in the run-in, they brushed Rangers aside with a couple of games to go, and then they also brushed Hearts aside on the last day of the season in 2019. We beat Hearts 2-1. We'd already had the league title won and done and dusted by then, but the direct correlation between 2019 and 2026 is the fact that we've got Rangers so close to the end of the season, and we play Hearts on the final day of the season. I will take a 2-1 win any day of the week as long as we beat Rangers this weekend and a Motherwell on Wednesday, a week tonight. Yes, there is 3 days, 15 hours and 45 minutes until we play the Rangers. When you look ahead, can Celtic win the last 3 games? Celtic have been the only team to ever win the remainder of the games after the split. The 5 games, Celtic are the only team in history to win the final 5 games. Can Celtic repeat that? I think that we can. I think that we could beat Rangers 2-1. I think that we could also beat Motherwell 1-0. I think the Motherwell game is going to be a close game, and I think it might a 1-0 win might be enough to secure it. We did beat Motherwell 3-1 earlier on in the season. Will Stephen Welsh even put in a shift? He can't, can he? Stephen Welsh can't play in the game. Oh, the Rangers fans will be saying it's a fix, it's a fix, it's a fix. Stephen Welsh will be in the terraces going, come on you boys in green. Glasgow's green and white. But anyway, I think that Celtic will beat Motherwell, and then it'll come down to Hearts in the last game. And my prediction for the Hearts game is the exact same in 2019. I think it'll be a close game, hard fought game, but I think Celtic will edge it 2-1. And that will be the result that make Celtic champions in just over a week and a half's time. But anyway, and then we go into the 23rd of May to play at Dunfermline. Now, there's breaking news about Dunfermline this evening, because Dunfermline, believe it or not, yes, Dunfermline, who do play Celtic in the Scottish Cup final, they have already sold. Dunfermline have already sold half the Scottish Cup allocation. Within hours of the tickets going on sales, the Bars earned a hat-trick of Premiership scalps to book their... they did quite well, didn't they? But it's no wonder they've sold half their tickets. Every season ticket holder's getting 16 tickets each. It's just madness. It's madness, man. It's like you're going down to East End. Can I have my 16 tickets, please? What section would you like them in? Get in. Dunfermline are up your chavs, aren't they? No disrespect to any Celtic fans in Dunfermline, but I mean, I mean, drinking tapaturis and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and that song that they've got that they all sing in the pub, the Dunfermline fans, are just rolling, rolling, rolling down the river, rolling, rolling. That's this one of the funniest sights, honestly. It's one of the funniest sights to behold as a football fan. You're just seeing the Dunfermline fans getting it. You're like that. They're on the bar doing it and everything. You're like, what the fucking hell's wrong with you lot? Honest to God. Anyway, Dunfermline. The last time Dunfermline were in the Scottish Cup final against Celtic way back in the day was the day that Neil Lennon, yes, back in 2007, it was the day that Neil Lennon played his last ever game, as Celtic manager. And there we go. That's when Neil Lennon played his last game as Celtic manager. Anyway, the rest to say was history. 16 times 52 quid. Obviously, everyone's buying their own tickets. Just saying. Anyway, out of the 3 remaining games, Motherwell was the hardest game, I think, but I'm praying already. Askew helps us out on Saturday night. He's more than welcome for the job next season. Now, there's a bit of speculation that he's actually like thinking about the Celtic job, but anyway, Celtic have been linked with various players over the last couple of weeks. One of them is a player that was known to, well, he's known to everyone because he's a Scotland international, but his current club rate him at around about 10 million after allegedly been to see Scott McKenna 4 times. Now, it then comes back to me that it comes back to the whole situation that if Celtic are actively in recruitment mode before they bring in a manager, it does make you question the board's. You don't believe a word the board say, do you? I don't. Don't believe a word that Brian Wilson can sit. He could sit in front of me and he could say whatever he wants, and I would say, Brian, you're a lying torag. If the truth came and scalped you after the arse with a big hard fucking leather glove, you wouldn't care about it. But I can ask Scott McKenna's mum-in-law. Met her at a Toto gig. Well, you got a number. Did you just ask for Liam? Did you just ask for a number? Anyway, Scott McKenna, yes, Scott McKenna. Believe it or not, Celtic have been to watch him 4 times, and allegedly he's worth 10 million. But I don't buy that shite. Anyway, Celtic have also been linked with Mark Leonard, and we've been linked with half a dozen players, more than half a dozen players leaving. Leaving Celtic this year. Anyway, talking about the game this weekend, Martin O'Neill has got a massive job on his hands. For Celtic, if they want to retain the championship title, yes, retain it. Jim Lister has just said the whole thing is beginning to sound like a money laundering operation, says Joe. Money laundering? It must be Maloney that's getting the job. If it is, God help us. We're doomed. We are doomed. They have to spend big this summer. They owe it to the supporters. McKenna ship sailed. We won't pay serious money for him. Birmingham won't do business with us. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Liam says, you tell me, when everyone's drunk at a gig, the folks' number you end up with. So you, Liam's rocking about. Grabbing all the old women's phone numbers. I'll take the easy. I'll take the easy ones. You going for her, mate? That's fine. I'm going to go for the old dear at the back there. All right, darling. What's your number? Oh man, sorry, but Jesus. Hearts to beat Motherwell, and it's all over. Arise, Sir Derek. Not necessarily. I don't think that it is over. I mean, I still think that Celtic can, Hearts can still win their next two games, and I think that if it comes to the last game of the season, I mean, there was a predictor thing that I seen online. Get where is it? No, I can't find it now. There was a predictor thing that I seen online that I tried earlier, and I put Hearts at winning games 2-1 and 3-2 and stuff like that, and then Celtic beating them on the last day of the season. And if Celtic win all their three games, if we beat Rangers, if we beat Motherwell, and then it comes down to Hearts and we beat Hearts, we should be champions. Simple as that. But we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Because we could go out and get beat or drop points. And if we do drop any points, it's a massive. I believe that Celtic will win the league. And I seriously do. I think Hearts will win their two games, and it's going to come down to the last game of the season. And I think that Derek McInnes and his players will lose the rag at Celtic Park. They won't cope with the pressure. The pressure will be far too much for them. The pressure of trying to become champions will just be, it'll be up there. And McInnes has lost umpteen finals with last minute goals from Celtic, and it will be the exact same on the final day of the season. It will be a goal in the 88th minute or 92nd minute from Celtic that will take Celtic to be the champions, and that will just be, it will be beautiful. It will be something else to watch. And I'm actually thinking about not doing a watch along that day, because I get that emotional at that time, that kind of thing. But anyway, let's jump into some of the comments. Let's all turn up in big numbers for Taffanier's testimonial. I think it's all over if Hearts beat Motherwell, because they will destroy Falkirk home, and knowing that goal difference already at 5+, we need a miracle on Saturday night. The fitness levels of PSG Bayern is frightening. No idea. The place should be bouncing. Make the Huns shut it before they even get out of the tunnel. It will be noisy, but I don't think it'll be that noisy. And it never is. The home... Didn't get me started. The atmosphere at the home game that we've had against them this season has been absolutely... hopefully, because the Green Brigade are back, it should be something special. Hail, hail at St Mary's Cope Bridge. A win on Saturday would then create a scenario where Celtic effectively decide which competition Rangers enter next season. Let's make sure that Rangers end up down in the conference. That's what I say. That's all the motivation that you need as a player. You can make them sure. Beat Dunfermline in the cup final. Rangers go into the Europa League, lose the cup final, and Dunfermline take the spot, dropping Rangers into the Conference League. I wouldn't want to do that though, would you? When you put it like that. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Fans need to be at it big time. I've got my niece and nephew's christening Sunday. My two brothers. Don't worry, Duncan Dash. Ay. Play the Undertaker music. Jeez. Brendan Rodgers was on 4 million plus 1 million bonus. Some dosh for the SPFL manager. And he walked away early from that. What you've got to say, he took 8 million out of Celtic in 2 years. So, the word that you're looking for regarding atmosphere will be clenched. Well, can Celtic do it? I think that we can. And when you look at the fixtures this weekend, where is it? The Premier. You look at the fixtures this weekend. It is a late one on Saturday night. Another late one for Hearts, and I hope that doesn't give them the little bit of boost that they might need going into the weekend. When you look at the other games that are on this weekend, you have Aberdeen versus Dundee United, Dundee versus Livingston, Falkirk versus Hibernian, St Mirren versus Kilmarnock, all 3 o'clock kickoffs. So we'll more than likely do a full-time results show on Saturday just to look at that. And then I think we'll do a watch-along on the other channel for the Motherwell Hearts game, just to see if Motherwell and Stephen Welsh can do it again. I want Stephen Welsh going down that tunnel, giving it, yes! Yes! Yeah, I want Stevie Welsh going down the tunnel doing the exact same as what he did to Rangers and the Rangers players. And then it is all eyes on Celtic. And I've got to say, I think that Motherwell, when you look at the way that Hearts played the first half, if Hearts play the first half the same way that they played against Hibernian kind of hit them on the break and got the goal. Motherwell will do the same. Rangers were all over Hearts the first half. All over Hearts. And they couldn't cope with it. But then Rangers fell to bits. Rangers collapsed in the second half. And I think when you look at Motherwell, I don't think that they'll collapse. They will know that, Saturday night, it's second last home game of the season. Can they do it? Can they do it? I think that they will. I think that Hearts will be shocked on Saturday night, and they'll be feeling it, and they'll be hoping that Rangers can do them some little handshake stuff. Go and try and beat Celtic for us, mate. And then it is Celtic versus Rangers on the Sunday at 12 o'clock kickoff. And then it takes us to the Tuesday. You've got Aberdeen versus St Mirren, Dundee United versus Livingston, Kilmarnock versus Dundee, all 7:45 kickoffs. And then the big one, Hearts versus Falkirk, Motherwell versus Celtic, Rangers versus Hibernian. Hibernian will want to go to Ibrox and just destroy them. I think that the Hibs fans will be determined to make sure that and their team, because they've had a lot of bad results. And then it comes down to the final games of the season. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday the 16th of May. 10 days away from now, Celtic could be champions. I think my scoreline prediction for that day will be Celtic 2, Hearts 1. That's my early prediction for that one. I'm going to tell you why I think Motherwell may have a big say. Remember, there was a certain little player that scored for Motherwell to stop Celtic winning the league. And that little Australian went on to be an absolute, pretty much legend at Celtic. Could history be about to repeat itself? I think at Celtic, if it does, it means that Celtic will beat Rangers 2-1, and then Celtic will also beat Hearts 2-1. And if a little certain player called Tawanda wants to score against Hearts, but more than welcome to Celtic in the summer, I tell you that. Falkirk is chasing Hibs for a European spot if Celtic are to beat Dunfermline. And then you go to the final Sunday of the game. And then you've got the playoffs. The playoffs are both versus Dunfermline to be arranged versus Partick Thistle. Interesting. Anyway, that is that. Do you think that Celtic can win the remaining 3 games? I think we can. Yes, it was Scott McDonald. Scott McDonald, you got it right first. It's yeah. When you look back to the results, the Hibs. I think the biggest shock one was the Dundee United one. Hibs were playing fantastic football. Don't know. It was no surprise that Hibs, but the shock one was the Dundee United one. Don't know if we'd won that Dundee United game, it would have been completely different. Don't know. We'd be level now, but it's all ifs and buts, isn't it? It is all ifs and buts. All we can do is try and win the remaining 3 games, and in 10 days' time, it'll all be done. And we can all lie on the couch like a burst couch. Just lie there and just go. And either look back on an unbelievable feat that Martin O'Neill has just done, or we'll be going, what an unbelievable feat that Martin O'Neill's just done. He took it all the way to the last game of the season. And to be fair, I would rather that we were beaten on the last game of the season if we're going to lose the championship, because from what we've went through, from Brendan Rodgers to Wilfred Nancy, 2 of the most disruptive periods in modern Celtic history. When you think about it, it's the couple of month period at the beginning of the season. Brendan Rodgers was in destruction mode. Taking no blame for himself, taking no blame for the way that the team was performing, and then throwing every single player under the bus. And I think as soon as he done that, his time was almost up at Celtic, wasn't it? And then bringing in the French Revolution, that just didn't work well. But if we can take it to the last game, at least Martin O'Neill will be able to hold his head high. And if he does lose it, his wife will have won the bet. Well, you fucked that up, didn't you? His wife will be proven right. But that's all the motivation that you need as a man. Because the one thing that you do not like as a married man is being told by the wife that you're going to fuck it up. So it just makes you work that little bit damn harder. And I think that's what Martin O'Neill will be doing. He'll be just trying to prove his missus wrong, because he knows he may have all the power and all the attention when he's at Celtic Park. But Martin O'Neill's even said it himself. When he goes back home and he sits down on his couch in the living room, the dog's higher up the ladder than what he is in his own household. So anyway, it'll be some into the season. 10 days to go. That's me done listed for this evening. We could be doing with a skippy. Yes, we could do with a skippy right now. Hearts not to beat Motherwell. Hearts not beat Motherwell away in 2 years. Come on. Well, there you go. Falkirk have nothing to lose. We'll be going hell for leather, as 6 is still good to finish for them. No matter what happens, we've got to keep Fozzie. Sean Dixon said that since he got it right, could he do with a one Celtic fans view mug? There's only one Celtic fans view mug, and he's probably sitting here. If we beat Hibs at home, Buzz, yeah, if we had beat Hibs at home, but anyway, not just the Dundee United game, we've lost 8. Yeah, but the majority of them were under Wilfred Nancy, so you've got to say that, since Martin O'Neill's been here, there's not been too many times that we've had bad results, considering what Martin O'Neill had to deal with, the players he had to deal with. He had to deal with the same players that were thrown under the bus by Brendan Rodgers, and that just were completely clueless in what Wilfred Nancy was trying to do at the side with his tactics board. Anyway, Calvin Miller could be a difference in games, could be, but he's not at Celtic. Exactly, say 8 losses under Nancy alone. No, it wasn't 8, it was 6 under Nancy. Never forget Wilfrod Nanny troops. I think that we'll just, um, yeah, we'll just leave that. Baz, if we win the double, bronze statue must be put up for Marty. Yes, and not a Back to the Future style Marty either. The legend that is Martin O'Neill. We mustn't forget. Yes, and you've got to take that into consideration. Nah, yeah, you could say that, but they've still you can't take away from Hearts have had consistency. You know, they've won games ugly. And I said back in December, everyone knows what I said. I didn't think, I thought that Hearts had consistency that we didn't. And we're still in with a shout, which is absolutely tremendous. What's this? His wife's bet, lol? His wife bet that he would F it up, muck it up, Martin said, when he said he was going back up the road. She wasn't convinced at all that he was going to do it. To think when Martin O'Neill left us at the end of the second spell, he had us equal top. I think, yeah, I know. I think we'll collect his winner's medal. Wilfred Nancy collect his winner's medal. Holy shit! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does that mean that Brendan Rodgers and if Celtic win under Martin O'Neill, does that mean that Wilfred Nancy and Brendan Rodgers will get winners' medals? Surely the hell no. Surely the hell no. What's the plans for the summer holidays? Mate, there is no holidays on this channel. We keep going. We keep going right through the summer because this will be the craziest summer that you've had in a long time. Can't blame Brendan Rodgers. The team has been garbage. Hoops didn't fire. You've got to, if Martin O'Neill can get these players performing, come on. Brendan Rodgers is meant to be an elite manager. Anyway, I'm still waiting on a mug. In other words, it's just a man you're waiting for. We need to sign Calvin Miller. Come on, we got rid of him years ago. Exactly. 3 losses, and Brendan Rodgers can't be blamed. Give the wee Huns no praise, Baz. Yeah, I don't like to give them praise, but get Nancy back as Santa. No thanks. Right. That's me done and dusted for this evening. Thank you to everyone who has been on the live this evening. It's been tremendous to spend the evening with you once again. We're on for 38 minutes, way long enough. I shall see you in the morning. And yeah, let's hope that there's some good news comes from Martin O'Neill come Friday when he does the press conference. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are. All around the world. Where's the button?